viewers, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I still with my humble self, MC Bernardino. Thank you very much for always coming back to this YouTube channel where I try as much as possible to enlighten you. For those that want to migrate into Canada, welcome. Alright, on today's episode I'll be talking about the for those of you that are Nigerian that wants to migrate to Canada through study. I've got a good news for you today. I'll be telling you about the Nigerian Student Express, NSC. So that's a new initiative by Canada Immigration. Welcome back. So for those of you that probably this is your first time on this YouTube channel, probably just someone on this channel, this is Canada Reality with MC Bernardino, where I try as much as possible to dish out information for those that want to migrate into Canada. So if this is your first time, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a notification bell beside it. Click on it so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. And if you enjoy this video, why not hit the likes button? Thank you very much. Alright, without further ado, I'll be telling you about the Nigerian Student Express, especially for Nigerians. This video is dedicated for Nigerians. So if you want to come to study in Canada, there's this initiative that is about to be introduced. It has not been introduced yet, but it will be introduced anytime soon. It is called the Nigerian Student Express. So I'll be telling you much about it. But before I go into that, let me share some background information of Nigerian students that are studying in Canada in the last 5 years. Let me share this information with you. So looking at this graph, you discover that from 2015 to 2019 there has been a tremendous increase in the number of students that came into Canada to come and study. In 2015 we had 9,920. It increased in 2016 to 10,630, and in 2017 there was 10,785 students studying, Nigerian students studying in Canada. And in 2018 we had an increment of 11,190 students, and last year 2019 there were 11,985 Nigerian students studying in Canada, both undergraduate, graduate, master's, PhD level. So now the NSC, Nigerian Student Express, is an initiative that is about to be introduced by IRCC to fast track study permit application of Nigerians that want to come and study in Canada. So some of you, I don't know if you know about the SSD. That was an initiative that was launched by Canada Immigration to help some countries that want to come into Canada to come and study, like students from India, Vietnam, Pakistan, Morocco, Senegal. Some of these countries, the SSD was introduced to fast track their study permit application, because it was discovered that most of these study permit application used to take a lot of time, months. So the SSD was introduced some few years back just to fast track study permit application in some of this country. So that is why they felt that Nigeria, which also accounts for majority of the students in Canada after India and China, I think Nigeria is the third or fourth. So they want to fast track the study permit application so that it doesn't take time as it used to be. I remember when I applied for mine in 2014, it took virtually almost 6 months for me to get a study permit. But now with the NSE, which is about to be introduced, it's going to be 20 days. I mean, 20 days, that's less than a month. That is whooping. So I'll be telling you much about it. You have an idea of what the NSC, the Nigerian Student Express, is all about. So let me take you through the eligibility criteria. What are the eligibility criteria for you to qualify for the NSC? Don't forget I said that it's an initiative that is about to be introduced. It hasn't been introduced yet, so maybe later this year it will be introduced, just like the SSD. So the NCE will probably be introduced later this year. So but let me take you through the eligibility criteria that was provided by IRCC. So first, you need to be a Nigerian citizen by resident. I mean, you should be a Nigerian citizen or you are residing in Nigeria for you to qualify. 2, you must have an offer of admission from a Canadian post-secondary institution for bachelor's, for master's, PhD or postgraduate diploma. So that simply means that in order for you to qualify, you must have gotten an admission to study in Canada for your bachelor's, for your master's, your PhD, your postgraduate diploma, but undergraduate is not included based on the information we have. We don't know, probably later they will update that, but undergraduate study is not included in this. And the next eligibility criteria is you must have a score 6 each in IELTS academic. So that means that in order for you to qualify for this NSC, you need to do IELTS. But something that is not clear is that presently now, for you to study in Canada as a Nigerian, you don't need to do IELTS, because already our studies in Nigeria, our previous studies in Nigeria was done in English. Like when I came in, I didn't do IELTS, and most schools, they don't require you to do IELTS if you're coming from Nigeria because your previous study was in English. But with this information that we have about this NSC, they require IELTS, and they require a band of 6. So we don't know, maybe they will probably later they will try to review that requirement, but for now that is the sketchy information we have about the requirement. And number 4 on the requirement is that you must have an equivalent of 30,000 Canadian dollars in your bank account for at least 6 months. You must attach your ticket number from my bank statement. That's a special type of bank statement. So that simply means that in order for you to qualify for this, you need to have a minimum 8 million Nigeria currency. If I'm not mistaken, that's as out of today. So you need to have that huge money in your bank account, and you need to print the bank statement and provide it along when you're applying for the NSC. So this is going to be done through my bank statement. And how do you get that? So I think the Canada Immigration, through this initiative, they will be partnering with some Canadian with some Nigerian banks. I don't know which banks, but they'll be partnering with some banks which will help you to raise this statement, and from there you can build a ticket that you attach to your application. Just like I told you earlier on, the program hasn't been launched. It will be launched anytime soon. We don't know when, but by the time it is launched, they will be providing additional information. But for now, that is little information I have about that. And the last one is that you must have undergone medical examination. So just like, if you want to come into Canada, they want you to go through medical examination from an accreditable source. They will be so Canada has some doctors that help them to do the medical examination. So the list will be provided. You can go online, you can Google that from Nigeria. There are some accredited hospitals where you can go and do your medical. So these are the eligibility criteria for you to qualify for the Nigerian Student Express. Now, after talking about the eligibility criteria, so let's talk about how can you apply for the NSC. Yes, if it eventually opens, based on information we have available now, how can you apply for it? Yes, so to apply for it, first thing first, don't forget I said you need an acceptance letter from any of school that you apply to in Canada. And don't forget I told you that it has to be for bachelor's, master's, PhD, or postgraduate diploma. So undergraduate is not included for now. So you need to get an acceptance letter from the school. 2, you need your international passport. 3, you need my bank certificate. Don't forget I said you need to have a minimum of 30,000 Canadian dollars, which as of today is like 8 million Nigerian naira. You need to get that my bank statement. And I told you that based on information we have now, Canada Immigration, they will be partnering, based on this initiative, they will be partnering with some banks in Nigeria where you can get this e-ticket. Don't ask me how you go about it, because I just said information are sketchy right now, but I'm just providing this video just to prepare you so that you can actually start preparing your mind towards this NSE program. So next is you need your IELTS, and if you speak French, TEF. So don't forget the minimum band you need to have across all the 4 speaking, writing, listening, and reading is that you need to have a minimum of 6 bands. So work towards that. And next thing is you need to do your medical. I told you about that. You need to do your medical, and after all this, they will provide a website where you can apply for the NSC program. The website, when you go to Canada Immigration, for now you can't get any website because they haven't built any website for it. But as the year progresses, as the year unfolds, 2020, they will be providing more information about the NSC program. So just stay tuned, hang on tight, get some of this information, put your mind towards it, and very soon once it launches, you can just apply. Alright viewers, I hope you actually enjoyed the videos that I brought for you today on the Nigerian Student Express, which is an initiative from Canada Immigration that will be launching anytime soon for geared towards Nigerians that wants to come into Canada to come and study, just to fast track the study permit application. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the likes button. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please take some few minutes, subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a notification bell beside it, click on it so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. So if you eventually have any question based on this NSE that you want to ask, you need more clarification, feel free to drop it in the in the video description below. I will try as much as possible to answer your question. But at the same time, don't forget I just said that it's a new initiative. It hasn't been launched, so some of your questions I might be able to answer, but some I may not be able to answer because information are still sketchy based on this initiative. I'm just bringing this video to you so that people start preparing towards when it eventually launches later this year. So the NSC, in summary, is just a new initiative about to be introduced by Canada Immigration just to help fast track study permit application, because in the past we know that to apply for study permit from Nigeria it takes like 4, 5, 6 months. I remember mine took like 6 months, so they are trying now to reduce it to 20 days. So within 20 days, when you apply for your study permit, after you must have gotten admission from the school and you apply for your study permit visa, you will get it in 20 days. So if you have any question, drop it in the comment section below. I will try as much as possible to answer your question. So Canada is still in the business of accepting international students, and Nigeria is not left out, because Nigeria accounts for top 10 of international students that are studying in Canada presently. I'm a product of studying in Canada, and because Canada provides a path for you to become a permanent resident when you're done your study. So I still want to encourage you, if you want to come to study in Canada, this NSC program might be a very good initiative for you. So if you enjoyed the video, again, hit the likes button till I come back to you again with another nice and interesting video, just to inform you, because I know information is key, and that's why I provide this platform in the first place. So if you haven't subscribed, once again, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Till I come back to you guys, stay safe and stay cool. Bye.